Hey everybody, welcome to Northernlion is the worst prison architect, well, I was gonna say warden, but it really is an architectural flaw that led to 17 escapes in the last episode. Sometimes I read comments and they're like, oh, we love Northernlion in spite of the fact that he's an idiot. And I'm like, hey, that's not fair, I'm not that stupid. And then I go do something ridiculous, like leave a hole in our fence that allows 17 prisoners to escape, and totally redeem myself. Also, if you want to figure out how to make your $1 million prison not be worth very much, there you go. Let 17 prisoners escape. In 24 hours, we're gonna make, sort of, $850,000, assuming we have no escapes tomorrow, which is good. We only have 23 prisoners now. That's not so good, but am I crazy to think that we're still, like, kind of in an okay position? I don't think I'm crazy for that. So I'm gonna build another room over here, and it's not gonna be the biggest classroom, but it's gonna be a classroom. How many desks can we fit in this classroom? That's a darn good question that I'll just readily admit I don't necessarily know the answer to, but I figure we might as well get started on our foundation education program. It's a pain in the ass to do. Maybe if in a month, since we're starting relatively early, we'll be able to complete it. What's our next step? Well, I would love to build more capacity. I really would. I think it's a good idea for us to build more capacity, but I also think, you know, it would be nice to get a forestry program and like a workshop set up as well. We need to buy more land one way or the other, but it doesn't matter, you know. Our setup is really good here. What's going on with this shit right here? You install a door in the middle of the wall? That's not gonna help. To do dump door. No, you don't understand. Alright, that's weird. Maybe that's something to do with concrete walls instead of brick walls. I don't know. This is gonna be a classroom. So I am gonna cram some desks in here pretty hard. Let's install doors. Well, we know in the future how to install doors, or at least how not to install doors. We need an office desk, which we'll put over in the corner over here, just to save some space, and a chair, and we need some school desks, as many as we can possibly fit, basically. If we can fit 20, that would be a really good start. And it looks like we're going to be able to fit way more than 20. Now, what we should do is leave, like, a row. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 5 is 30 desks. All right. It's the size of, like, a regular North American classroom. Until college, in which case it becomes about the size of this prison. So we've had new prisoners arrive. I didn't really sort them. That's a bad decision on my part, but we've kind of got bigger fish to fry with the whole, you know, $3,000 penalty every single day. We haven't scheduled any programs yet, which is something we should do if we want our people to actually learn. So you know what? Let's start scheduling our programs. We already have a regime, don't we, that allows work? Yeah, we got 3 hours of work. So let's start scheduling some programs. Foundation education. Different colored icons. Interesting. Workshop safety. Kitchen safety. Those are your 3 basic start ones. Alcoholics group therapy takes place in a common room. Each participant requires a chair, which we don't really have. Guard taser certification. Led by a chief in a classroom. We don't want to do that. What about pharmacological treatment of drug addiction? Led by a doctor in an infirmary. 6 in queue. That seems perfect. Beautiful. Maybe some of the people who require medical attention will also sign up for drug treatment. What do you have? Box contents light? Can I sell those lights? No. So we'll just have to wait for those. And of course, every time we get a new room here, especially a room where there's going to be a lot of prisoners and maybe someone from the outside, we should install like a CCTV camera here so we can see what's going on. I don't want our prisoners to go crazy and murder our teachers. Now, I'm not trying to say that all prisoners are crazy, but you got to admit they have a bit of a propensity for violence relative to the guards. Like, what's going on over here? This guy's just gonna walk out of our prison? That's how you're gonna choose to get into the canteen. I've given you 100 doors. You've chosen to walk all the way around. And you know what's bullshit? Is that dude can do that, and as a result, not have to go through any metal detectors. Are you sneaky or what? Okay, well, we'll put an end to that pretty quickly. Install some metal detectors there. Thanks for helping me find that loophole. Now you ruined it for everybody, you big asshole. Connections, right. Here to here, and here to here. Sweet, we can now sort of see inside of this classroom. A little bit. Fog of war is not such a big deal. 8 prisoners have serious complaints. What are you complaining about now, you big babies? Workshop safety, no room found. Right, that makes a lot of sense. Recreation? You have so much free time and like a big common room here, and every room has a bookshelf. Maybe I need a bigger common room? I mean, I could do that. I'd rather not, though. Well, let's talk about what our next big, let's talk about building our next big addition. We're pretty much just going to build a big, brick foundation out here, and I'm going to stretch it like this. It's going to be a very expensive addition, but it's something, you know, we got to get the job done. It's building to the edges of the fence, so I don't think our prisoners are actually going to be able to escape from it, which is good. I know this is ugly now, but whatever. Yeah, I imagine our workmen are going to be able to do a pretty decent job of getting this done. It'll probably take us a few days to sort through those deliveries. I really don't want to hire more workmen because our budget is already so effed up. Well, we only have 8 prisoners arriving, and they're 12 hours away, so maybe it'll be okay. For now, it's eating time, just before bed. Alright, it sounds ridiculous to say this because of where, you know, things have gone recently. They're all fine now. But I do feel good about our prison. I really do. I recognize that we've had some terribly shitty situations, no question about that, and I let 17 prisoners escape, which is really bad. But I'm still pleased with the way things are going here, and we're going to build out some crazy capacity here. One thing I am going to pay close attention to is our shower situation, because I do feel like this shower room might be a little bit too small. There's probably maybe 35, 40 shower heads in there, which is fine for the number of prisoners we have right now, but in the future we might want to up that a little bit. I gotta look at our connections here. Like, it should be working, right? I don't know why it's not giving us any vision on it. All I can think of is that it's pointed in the wrong direction, but it's clearly not. So I'm just going to assume that that's a bug, basically. And there's no point in really installing another CCTV monitor there, because I'm pretty confident that... Or CCTV camera, I'm pretty confident that our workmen are going to be a little bit too busy to take care of that for a while. So one thing that we need to pay attention to is how is this going to affect our power station. Our power station is already at max number of capacitors. That's not going to change anytime soon. It's going to take still a decent amount of time for that to actually fill in. We might want to talk about just building like another power station down in this area right here, just to deal with this half of our prison. Honestly, I think that's a really good idea. So we'll get that done. As these lights get installed, that might be a bit of a pain in the butt, but what I really want to avoid is just our whole prison going dark as a result of this. And yeah, a power station's expensive, but we have the money for it, so why not? Really, what we're doing here is trying to build like a $5 million prison to sell in order to start Alpha 27 off on the very right foot. You know, our backlog for deliveries is not as bad as I thought it would be. I think we're going to be able to get prisoners in a relatively timely fashion. And I'm thinking we can almost use this entire foundation that we're just building here for cells. And if we get that done, we could probably have 300 capacity. Can we fit 150 prisoners in there? Maybe a little bit less. At least 250, though. When you're zoomed out, it's hard to tell, but this is actually like an enormous amount of cells here. There's 150 cells on this tiny little area here. So we have 4 prisoners well treated. 1 has serious complaints. 1 prisoner. I'm smelly and I haven't seen my family and I want to get out of here. Should have thought of that before I murdered all those people in the bank queue for making me wait. Turns out maybe it wasn't the best idea to act on my rash impulses. Who would have thought? All right. So our workmen, I mean, they're slow. They're tired, I assume. They're getting there at least. But the foundation's going to be done relatively quickly, and this is a big-ass foundation, man. This is bigger than the foundation you would do if you had a $50,000 starting grant to do your first prison with. So it's not surprising me that they're taking forever, and it's going to take them like an equal amount of time just to install the freaking lights, but this is fine. I would love to actually get like these steel girders off of the truck. I think it's going to happen right now. Come on, just take some more off there. Yeah, good job. We've got families visiting. The prisoners are already on the truck here. Let's read some bios while we're waiting. Oh, we got one truck moving there. That's good. Nothing special. Chris the Spider Web, convicted of commercial burglary for stealing an entire truckload of soda and energy drinks. Who does that? Fair enough. Tim Grebadine worked the system for as long as he can stand, but eventually cracked and was caught masterminding a complex conspiracy to bring down a reputable toy company by flooding the market with flammable teddy bears and poorly worded safety instructions. That's just needlessly vindictive, my friend. What are you? You're tough? Nothing special? And nothing special, okay. So we're making a little bit more money on a daily basis. Not quite to the level that I'd like, but that's okay. We are going to need an entrance over here, but I'm going to wait until everything is built, and then I'm going to demolish one of the walls. I'll demolish like 3 of the walls, I guess. And we're spending a lot of money, but we're lucky enough that we're making a lot of money too. And we do have a grant that will complete like pretty automatically. Raise your prisoner capacity to 200. That'll be done in, I'm not going to say no time, but it's not going to take too long. Education reform, as far as I'm concerned, still needs either, it needs a reworking. Either the grant completion requirements need to be smaller, and I don't care, make the payout smaller as well, or the prisoners need to be a little bit better. The program needs to go a little bit faster. It's impossible. It's not impossible. It's grating. It takes forever. All right, come on. Just get your final little pieces installed here. We actually got all the prisoners off the trucks in a relatively expedited fashion here. 19 prisoners arrive tomorrow. We can totally handle them as far as I'm concerned. We're well over where we need to be when it comes to our actual like infrastructure right now, I think. Even if our yard does look stupid and let dozens of prisoners escape. So there's still, yeah, like I don't want to demolish the walls yet because there's still a little bit of stuff left for you to take care of, and I don't want the prisoners to just walk over to the fence, use some garden tools that they stole, and then walk the F out, you know? And after we get this done and we get the kind of utilities set up, we'll look at our... It's almost all filled in. So you know what? I will demolish the walls now. These 3 right here. Yeah, I'll install that power grid and then I'll start to plan for the pipes because I want the same kind of thing. I want the best utilities set up that we can possibly get. That should be... Sorry, what? Fantastic. Were you an ex-law enforcement? Oh my god. Okay, I know. We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn how to deal with these protective custody people. I didn't know that he was ex-law enforcement. I must have missed that on the sorting. I don't feel good about it. But, you know, all things considered, we had escapes a couple of days ago. If you're gonna have a death, that was financially one of the best times to have a death. I'm sorry to tell you that, family of Victor, but really, it didn't hurt our bottom line that much. 9 prisoners have serious complaints. What of? Hygiene? Maybe if you spent your time in the morning, like murdering your germs instead of showering. Sorry, I've gotten this all backwards. Maybe if you spent your time in the morning murdering your germs instead of the other inmates, you wouldn't have such an issue. So I kind of expected this, but we're going to need to build out some walls here because it thinks that fence is a wall, which is cute, but not really what we need. We're also going to demolish our other walls so we can get proper hallways going here. So this will be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This should allow, like, pretty easy flow of workmen. Which is something you'll have to talk to your mother about. I burn you good. These are just lights. That means they should get installed relatively quickly. How are you doing here? We might be able to get like one more cell block basically on this capacitor, but I don't love the idea of doing that. How are our workmen going to get out over here? I think that's a very good question. Here's what I think we do. Let's build a fence around like this, which is a little bit too big probably. But then we'll demolish this fence. And we'll have a little gated area where we'll install that next power station. What I've learned with power stations is we started dealing with the minutia of power going down all the time in the end of the last series because of overcapacity issues. Better safe than sorry, especially if we've got the cash, why not spend it, right? Valuation is still over $1 million, even though we had the death today, so that feels pretty good. Again, no offense to Victor's family. So once we get this installed, we're just going to put a staff door that actually gives access out here. And then we'll install our new power station and just avoid crossing the streams, and life's good. Takes forever to get rid of these trees, though. Alright, so objects, staff door, and utilities, power station. We can't install it yet because of the trees, I think. Utilities, power station. Oh, we can put it right there. And it's expensive, but I'm going to surround it with capacitors again. Better safe than sorry. Hopefully it doesn't rain while they're installing it. Please tell me, by the way, that there actually is a fence installed here. We're going to dismantle these trees just to make sure. Yeah, to do dismantle tree. Thank you. Alright, so once this gets... We still got a lot of lights to install, so I'm not going to worry about actually getting the cells up just yet. I'm mostly just going to worry about making sure that we've got, you know, the proper kind of infrastructure here. We don't want to cross our streams, so I'll just build one out like this, and then like that. And then we'll go down. That's like another 1,000, well, like 2,000 bucks just to install those wires there. And one up like this. And what this does is it saves enough electrical capacity that our workshop, if we build it, which we probably will, build it like up here, we'll actually be able to run on our old grid, because the workshop takes so much power. So I think that is a pretty good choice for us. We have 22 prisoners arriving tomorrow. That takes us to like pre-escape levels, I think. And then maybe we'll do a shakedown after that. Because our prison, apart from the murder, has been running pretty well. And that's another reason we need confidential informants, by the way. So that we can hopefully avoid murders like that by just being able to quickly see who's marked for death. We still have not taken that dead body out of the yard. What are you doing here? Oh, they just never opened the door for it? Get out of here, hearse. We only had one death. Why do we have so many hearses? We don't have any dead bodies anymore. We're all out of dead bodies, hearse. Unless, I don't know, maybe they're in the medical bay or something like that. We can rebuild him. Oh, there's another hearse. Okay. This is, we don't need an on-duty hearse at all times. Let's see what we got here. No ex-law enforcement, please. Life sentence for trolling President Obama into rage-quitting the game of life. His wife and 2 children visit him on a regular basis. Stephen is trying to organize prisoners to revolt and ultimately overthrow the prison. Sic semper tyrannis. Alrighty then. Captain Blackbeard, yar! After ye crimes me and the crew committed, I was finally caught by ye English Navy and chucked in the dungeons. 'Twill only be so long till the crew come help me escape, yar! Pretty good. Not my impression, but the bio itself. I appreciate like an old-timey pirate instead of, James the cyber warrior hacked the world and they threw him in jail, but he's gonna escape because he's a badass. Adrian Portier has killed several gang members listening to the music too loud in the train on their way back home. The police found their phones inside their stomachs still playing music. Alright. I think we still have one more truck maybe, yeah. There we go. Sean Doyle. Aston Cowell. Here we go. Michel Bouchard. A teacher who had enough. Boo-boo is purging some time for inventing an electric chair for his students to shock them if they don't listen in class. 63 students died from the first prototype alone. Damn, dog. You're going to associate your name in a video game with you actually killing your students? I think most people would realize that that's a joke, but you're a braver man than I am. I'll tell you that much. Alright, so we're going to just wait for all these lights and wires to be installed. It's going to take a long time. In the meantime, we can plan for our utilities. So we'll be looking at large pipes. Looking at large pipes. And we might as well just kind of move it over to this area to start with. And then we'll figure out... Because we really want to make sure that we don't have any cells that border large pipes. Because that can really give them the fast track to getting out of this jail, which is something that I'm not a big fan of. We should have enough guards to take these prisoners off in a fairly expedited fashion. Visitation room, honestly, this is one of the things that I'm most proud about. Our visitation room is pretty nice here. You know what? We could use two armed, so not armed guards, 2 dogs in our visitation room. Because it seems like oftentimes we're, I'm gonna hire another dog handler. Seems like oftentimes there's just no dog in there. Yeah, I'm gonna hire another dog handler. How many kennels? We got 5 kennels? I think we need 1 more handler. No, we have 5 handlers. Okay, so this is max capacity for now, and I think it's fine, even if it's not my ideal choice. Wires are not quite all installed yet. That's okay. We'll wait it out. This is just a beautiful canvas that we'll run crazy on in our next video. But for now, nobody in the visitation room. Do we have a grade yet? No. 1 prisoner has been released. I guess it is fairly early into our prison's lifespan. We have a maximum security inmate now. You don't understand. No, we don't need maximum security inmates yet. Maybe this is what we'll do. We'll build up a high capacity of maximum security inmates, and then we'll start separating regimes and stuff like that. And maybe the second wing can be our maximum security wing. It's going to be enormous, though. Maybe we could make this bottom wing into our maximum security wing. Is that going to work, though? Like, can we designate an area that small as max security? We'd have to install, like, some doors or something. Yeah, I think we'd have to install some doors. Which is fine. I mean, it can be done. I may just have them mingle, though. Because really, the only danger seems to be if you have maximum security inmates and ex-cops. Well, I mean, not even maximum security inmates, just ex-cops in general. So let's look at this. This wall is going to be cells. This is going to be the side wall of these cells. Speaking of which, we don't need, like, these 2 walls right here, so we might as well demolish them. Just 2? 1, 2, yeah. So let's demolish those. If we were making a cell from here, then it would go like this. Starting to lag up a little bit because we've got a huge prison, I guess, already. And then the wall for the middle would be here. And then these would be the cells. So where would our toilets be? Using the cloning tool, they would be like right here and here. Now our canteen setup's a little bit... we might want to make this into some kind of like common room or something. But we can do the same thing up here and assume that they'd be in the same place. So they would be like... let's just use our planning tool to make sure that we got this appropriate. Would cut across like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we'll cancel this out. And our objects would be like here and here. And I really hate that I have to do this over and over. That's okay. Split this right down the middle. That's not right. This is right. And our objects will be here and here. I hope this is correct, because if it is correct, it saves us a lot of heartache. Oh, you know what? I botched it a little bit. Yeah, I have botched it. The objects should actually be... let's go planning objects. They should be here and here. Because we're going to be up against this wall. Yeah, this wall is going to exist. Okay, so this is going to seem stupid for a minute. But I think this is the proper way to handle it. This one's going to come down like this. To here, I think. Split it right down the middle. 1, 2, 3. This planning looks weird, but... then our toilets are going to be... what the heck is wrong with me? Is my brain broken? No, they'll be here and here. This is our cell. This isn't going to be our... Oh, that's going to be our cell. Wait a minute. They're in the same place. I had an optical illusion placed on me. They look like... This is a weird brain teaser, dog. They look like they're off to the right. You see that? That's creepy. Alright, but I have them in the right place now, I think. Alright, I'm sorry that I'm a little bit of an idiot sometimes. My brain is mostly, you know, good at coming up with jokes that are not good. Not the greatest of achievements. So where are we going to send our pipes up? Well, if those are going to be our cells, we're going to send our pipes up through this wall. And they are going to border those cells slightly. Which means I'm going to cancel this. And then we're going to put them up through this wall instead. Okay, so they're not going to... They're going to border the cells but not touch them. And then we're going to spread this along like this. All the way down just to make sure that we've got this appropriately. And this might seem like it's tedious, and it is tedious. But it's also a necessary evil, you know? This is an important part of any prison's diet here. Get these pipes done now so that we don't have to install them when we have a buttload of security doors in the way. And we'll just handle those for now, because that's going to be a pretty... Well, these ones too. It's going to be a pretty enormous cell block here. So we'll also have to build maybe some large pipes down like this. And then this... And this. So this is going to take a while. Rest assured. This is going to be a big to-do list for our workers here. We really don't need a daily procession of hearses. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. The fact that you guys are all kind of just mingling scares the shit out of me, but I think we did a reasonably good job that episode in spite of the murder. Our prison is worth 1.04 million. Relatively solid. 21 prisoners have serious complaints. Like, again, about what? Food, hygiene, sleep? I think it's because we let in so many prisoners today, again, that were unshowered. And this is not a revelation or anything like that, but it does happen a lot. Cool. We'll be back in the next episode. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Prison Architect. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. We really don't need a hearse every day.